When looping in Python, one of the most common tools is this range function that we get out of the box with Python. And you see here that range, well, is a range object, a special type of object in Python that returns an object that produces a sequence of integers from start to stop. Let's explore that a little bit more. If I print here a range, and I say range 100, and I click run, I get range of 0 to 100. So it looks like a tuple, but it's not. It's a range object. It's a special type of object. And range, you can give it like this, which gives you a default of 0 to whatever you give it, which is 100. Or you can just simply type 0, 100. And if I click run, it's the same thing. But where range becomes really useful, and you'll see this in 99% of cases in Python, is in for loops. You see, besides tuples and lists and sets and dictionaries and strings, you can iterate over a range. So for example, if I do for I in range, and let's just say item, or in our case, let's just do number in range, and in here I do print number. If I run this, you'll see that I'll get numbers 1 to 100. And why is this useful? Well, using range, I was able to loop 100 times. As you can see, all the way till 99 because our count starts at 0. And we're able to loop as many times as I want. So I can tell the loop. Maybe we want to loop a certain number of times. Maybe you want to loop 10 times, where I can tell the loop how many times to run. It's extremely useful. Maybe here we're performing some action where it says, I don't know, email list. So we want to send 10 emails to an email list, for example. Well, again, I can just click run and I sent that email, well, a bunch of times, 10 times. Another neat trick is that, well, you might not even need number, right? We're not really using it in our code. And often what you'll find in Python programs is if a programmer doesn't need this variable, you just do an underscore. And this is just a variable. I mean, you could use it like this, and you'll still get these numbers, but it just indicates to other people that, hey, I don't really care what this variable is. I'm just trying to use range so that we can loop over things, let's say 10 times. Now, range also comes with a third parameter. And what that is the step over. So if I do 2, and by the way, default is 1 here. If I do 2, it jumps from 0 to 10 by 2, which is very, very handy. So what is range? Well, range creates a special kind of object that we can iterate over. Okay, what if I do right here. What if I do -1? Well, if I run this, that's not going to work because, well, let me show you why. If I change this to 0 and 10, and I do -1, it's going to go in the opposite direction. But if I did just 10 and 0, that's not going to work. If we want to do something in reverse, we just have to make sure that we add that -1. Or if we want to step back twice, then we click run. So you have a lot of options to play with the range. You can do ascending, descending. One final thing. Another place that you might see ranges, and like I said, most of the time they're in for loops, but you can also do something interesting like, let's say, a range of 10. And then if we wrap this in a list, remember a list function allows us to convert something to a list. If I run this, did you see that? let's simplify this so that this range is going to just be 2. If I click Run, you see that I loop 2 times. And in here, I'm going to print, first of all, I'm going to create a range, an iterable object that has 10 items. And then I'm going to convert that into a list. So you can see here, 0 to 9 into a list. So this is a quick way to create a list that, well, has integers. A neat trick that you'll definitely use along your programmer journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.